What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and thank you guys so much for joining us as a part of our weekly live show where we discuss the latest around your favorite football team. We got a lot to talk about today. Aaron Rodgers, Colin Cowherd, Justin Jefferson, some hot topics around your Minnesota Vikings that we'll be breaking down. But before we do so, if you guys love the Minnesota Vikings, give me a skull down below in the comments section. As Z Cool saying, Pat, about damn time. Z, we had a meeting today here at Chat Sports, so we were running a little late, but appreciate you guys all for tuning in. M Mac in the building, a legend here. Skolger, a legend in the building. Nikki J. Ward saying, "Sup, Pat? How's your day?" My day's going good. What about you, Nikki? Thanks for tuning in. Joey Tana, John Nelson, Ty Man, the Buckeye, Patrick Munson saying, "Skol, brother." Skol to you too, man. Joey DeLuca saying, "What's up, Seeps?" What's up, Joey? How you doing? Darren Wiles, Ty Man, Mike, Michael Stevenson, Rocky, all in the building. And then Winding Pie saying, "Skol, beat the Bears." There is no better feeling than beating the Chicago Bears, and I cannot wait to celebrate a 4th straight victory Monday with you guys here on the channel. King Jack saying, "Who likes the Vikings?" I love the Vikings, King Jack, and a lot of the people in here love the Vikings as well. Joey DeLuca saying, "Skol," love to see that, Joey. And then Bob saying, "Skol" as well. Now, we got a lot to break down on today's show, but quickly, I do want to tell you guys about a new sponsor we have here, and that is Factor Meals. Now, if you guys head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50, you guys will get hooked up with 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. So check them out. Head over to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 and give them a look. They are the best quick meals out there, and I use them almost every single day, and trust me, if you guys give them a chance, you guys will as well. So shout out to Factor Meals for sponsoring today's live show, and also a big shout out to Prize Picks. They're back as a sponsor here at Vikings Now. If you guys download the app today, sign up today, plug in promo code CLNS. When you make your first $5 lineup, you guys will get hooked up with $50 instantly. That's $50 instantly at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Plug in promo code CLNS, and you guys will get hooked up with a sweet, sweet deal. So make sure you hit that link, check them out, create a $5 lineup, and get $50 instantly. But massive, massive shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Let's do some quick injury news coming in from Kevin Seifert. He says, "Did not see tight end Josh Oliver during the Vikings walkthrough practice today." So quick little update there. But I'll ask you guys this, because there was a report that came out from, I think it was Jeremy Fowler, who said NFL teams fear Jamar Chase a whole lot more than the guy at the top of your screen, Justin Jefferson. So that's you guys. A stupid question. A question I think has a very easy answer. Pick a wide receiver for me. Give me an 18 for Justin Jefferson, or give me a 1 for Jamar Chase. Now, I will say this. Bryson Rocket 12 kind of saying in the chat, I love both. I am a big fan of Jamar. I think he's one of the most explosive receivers in the National Football League. I think he could potentially be a top 10 wide receiver of all time. But there are levels to it. And I feel like we underrate greatness a lot of the times. Like, we understand the difference between good and great, but I feel like sometimes as fans and just in the media, we don't understand the difference between a great wide receiver and an all-time great wide receiver. And we'll share some quotes during today's show from Kevin O'Connell. He was talking about all the different looks that Justin Jefferson gets, but I thought it was a little disrespectful that a lot of apparently NFL scouts said defenses fear Jamar Chase more. I mean, could you imagine if Jefferson had Joe Burrow in the league? I mean, Jefferson has had to deal with Kirk Cousins, Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall, and now Sam Darnold, and he's made all of those quarterbacks look good at a certain point throughout their careers. So I think this is an easy answer. I'm going to ride with number 18, but hey, Jamar Chase, generational talent as well, but I just think there's levels to it. I think just Jefferson is just a little bit better, but we'll talk about that more here in a second. But I want to ask you guys this. Predict the Vikings record for the rest of the season for me. Get down in the comment section and let me know. I have been pretty stuck at 13-4, but if the Vikings win this weekend, I'll be willing to go up to 14-3. 13-4, 14-3. That's kind of where I'm at. Mason's going 13-4. Z, cool. What up, Z? Shout out to you, man. Going 14-3. The Guns typing his 18. Same with Ty Man, the Buckeye, typing his 18s as Michael is laughing in the chat. Might be a Bengals fan in the chat. But Bryson's going 12-5 or 13-4. Rodgers going 14-3. Patrick 14-3. Joey Tana nickeling in the chat. Same with Michael Stevenson. I got to go 14-3. That's going to be my final record prediction for the Vikes, especially if you win this weekend. I think 14-3 is definitely on the table. And the number one seed, I mean, if you lose this game to the Bears, you can pretty much wrap that up. The Lions or the Eagles will get that in the NFC. But if you win this game, man, you got a really good chance to be the number one seed and also win the NFC North title. You would just hope the Lions drop maybe one of their tough games against the Bills or the Niners. One quick note, the Lions do square off with the Niners on Monday Night Football Week 17 before they face the Vikings at home. So they got travel to San Francisco Monday night, travel back Monday night to Detroit, have an off day probably Tuesday, walk through Wednesday. I mean, it's going to be a really quick turnaround for the Lions, but that game is going to be a lot of fun. So we'll talk about the Vikes rest of the season here in a second, but let me ask you guys this. Aaron Rodgers. Is it going to be full circle for us Vikings fans as we have another Packers quarterback go to the Jets, struggles with the New York, then he comes to the Vikings and has a resurgence? I'll ask you guys this. I'm not going to give an answer on it just yet because I'm sure a lot of you guys will know my answer. As you guys know, I'm a big J.J. McCarthy believer and fan, but do you guys want the Vikings to sign Aaron Rodgers to be the starting quarterback? Hypothetically, if he's cut. Like, this wouldn't be a trade where you're taking on his massive cap hit. But hypothetically, Rodgers, he's available. Are you signing him? Give me a Y or S for sign, or give me a P for pass. Lantern saying let him go to the New York Giants. I don't know if they'll be too interested in him, but Rodgers going pass. Ty Man saying pass. Mason, Maryland, Riley saying no. King Jax is saying pass. Nicky J. Ward saying we're not running an old folks home. I understand it. I understand. I will say Rodgers hasn't been as bad as I think people are understanding this year. He is not a top 15 quarterback anymore. He's probably in that 15 to 20 range. Plus, he's going to have to come in, learn a whole new offense. For the channel personally, I would love this, but also it would drive me crazy considering, and I'll explain my thoughts a little bit more once we get to this segment on today's show, but the only way I consider this move of bringing in Rodgers is if J.J. McCarthy has another setback, and let's just say he's out for the first 4 months of next season, maybe then I would consider Rodgers. But I would almost rather have them pay a little more to keep Darnold on a 1 or 2 year deal rather than going out and getting Rodgers. He's going to have to get familiar with a whole new system. Obviously, he's an intelligent, player and person, but I'm going to say no for right now. But, I'll explain a little bit more here in a second. And, hey, we're going to have a mailbag coming up. If you guys got a question for me, hashtag Vikings or Super Chat to get on the show. If you guys want to ask about Rodgers, you guys want to ask about anything around your favorite football team, please let me know your thoughts down below. Just use hashtag Vikings or Super Chat to get on. Richard D say you keep breaking up. I don't think so. I think audio is all good on our end. If it does break up, just let us know. Alec Penny saying P. Derek is going P. But, yeah, please get those questions in there. Hashtag Vikings or Super Chat to get on today's show. If you Super Chat, you'll be at the headline of our mailbag that we'll get to. So, great way to support the show. Also get your thoughts out there to thousands and thousands of Vikings fans. Normally I post these videos on Saturday before the game. Normally get around, 8 to 15,000 views. So if you guys want to have 15,000 Vikings fans potentially see your question or see your thoughts, hot takes, whatever it may be, Super Chat, hashtag Vikings in the live chat. Get those questions in there. But coming up on today's rundown, Justin Jefferson. I think he got disrespected. I'm just going to call it like it is. And we'll talk about that. Talk about what the scouts had to say. We'll talk about what Colin Cowherd had to say around the Minnesota Vikings. As great news, the Vikings actually, for the first time in a month, made Cowherd's top 10. And then Aaron Rodgers talk, plus a mailbag. And if you guys are ready to go, hit that thumbs up button. We're at 31 likes right now. Once we get to 40 likes, we'll get this show underway. I'll get you guys the latest around Justin Jefferson. Getting a little disrespected here. So please hit that thumbs up button. We're at 32 likes. We just need 8 more likes. Yeah, as Mark saying, that dude is comfortably smug. Yeah, one of a kind. Aaron Rodgers is, I don't think we'll ever see a quarterback similar to Rodgers ever in the NFL, just in terms of personality. But, we'll see. I don't think the Vikings would even consider the possibility of bringing in Rodgers, but again, I am not making the decisions. I don't know what their thought process is. Maybe they view him as a, still at this age, a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. So, we'll really dive into that on our third segment on today's show. But I said we just get into it. We just crossed over 41 likes. Justin Jefferson getting a little disrespected here. There's a wild report came out that apparently GMs, scouts, and executives fear Ja'Marr Chase more than Justin Jefferson. We'll break that down on today's show. Alan D, shout out to you in the live chat. That's awesome. I wish I was there at the Titans game. Lantern in the chat as well. Shout out to you. EV, appreciate you. Appreciate you for getting in. Yeah. Alrighty. We're going to dive into it, though. Justin Jefferson getting disrespected. Let's talk about it. Joey Tana saying who the Vikes pick up in free agency. Good question. We'll talk about that. Yeah, I think I'm out on Raj as well, fellas. BLD, are you late? No, we are just getting started here. Don't you worry. We're about to talk about it. Justin Jefferson got a little disrespected. We'll break that down here in a second. If you guys could, hit that thumbs up button. But yeah, let's dive into it. Justin Jefferson, number 18. Caught a little bit of a stray. I want to give you guys my thoughts right now. Give us a sec, guys. Shout out to Kyle, typing 18. Roger in the chat. All right, let's do it. Justin Jefferson. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and I think us Vikings fans, I think we got some great news because this man right here, Justin Jefferson, got a little disrespected in a recent report that came out from an NFL insider. And I think it's great news for Vikings fans because I think a big-time game from number 18 could be heading to Chicago this weekend. But before we show you guys the report, let's show Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, the best non-quarterback in the NFL. Let's show him some love on today's show. Type those 18s. Type his jersey number down below in the comment section because you guys are going to get a kick out of this report. And I want to show the best non-quarterback in the National Football League our support. Type those 18s. Show Justin Jefferson some love. So a report came out around Ja'Marr Chase, Justin Jefferson. That's been a hot topic on who is the better wide receiver right now because Ja'Marr has had an unbelievable start to this NFL season. But this came out from an NFL insider saying many NFL scouts believe Ja'Marr Chase strikes more fear into defenses. So we're going to dive into this. We're going to talk about my favorite memories that Justin Jefferson has had for this organization here in a second. But I think the biggest reason why Ja'Marr is, or that this report is coming out around Chase versus Jefferson, is because of the start Ja'Marr Chase has had to this year. Like, he's already got over 1,000 yards. He does have his bye week this week. So, Jefferson, I'm going to call it right now. I bet you by the end of this week, he has more receiving yards than Ja'Marr Chase. I think he could be going for $150 this weekend. But I think this is the biggest reason why, for some reason, this report came out that scouts think Ja'Marr Chase strikes more fear in the defenses compared to Justin Jefferson. Also, he has had some big-time primetime games when the whole world is watching. Like, in my opinion, I don't think a lot of people are watching what Jefferson has done over the last couple of weeks. And, my biggest kind of counter argument to this would be, imagine if Jefferson had Joe Burrow. Imagine if he reconnected with his college quarterback, the types of numbers this guy would be putting up. It would be through the roof. I mean, this guy, Jefferson, is already the league leader in yards per game in NFL history at the receiver position, 97 yards per game. He actually has a 10-yard lead on who is second in the NFL. And could you imagine if it was Burrow throwing to Jefferson, the connection those two had at LSU, like he would be putting up, I think, better numbers than Ja'Marr Chase. But also this quote's going to fire you guys up. Take a listen to this. Kevin O'Connell was asked about just how good Justin Jefferson is. This was actually Paul Allen who asked him. And KO said this. It's going to be a long quote, so stay with us. I may be biased because I'm around him every single day. I absolutely love coaching him. One of my absolute favorites. I was around Randy Moss. I've been around a guy who won the Triple Crown during our Super Bowl year in LA. Talking about Cooper Kupp. I think Jefferson is capable of about anything. This is the part here. The thing I hope people understand is I watch football around the league. What he is playing against is different than what anybody else is playing against, week in and week out. Nothing but respect for the great receivers in our league, but I promise you folks, it is not coach speak, it is real. Imagine you are playing basketball and you have 3 of the 5 guys guarding you. That's basically what people do every single week. Justin doesn't blink, and he makes play after play for us. And when I heard this from Kevin O'Connell and watching it, him really be so passionate about his main guy, his superstar on his team, Justin Jefferson, it fired me the hell up, fellas. Because I really hope people understand. The looks that Jefferson gets is completely different from the looks Ja'Marr Chase gets. Jefferson is getting safety help, is getting outside, inside leverage on every single play. Whatever creative design that is out there of taking away wide receivers in the National Football League, number 18 has seen it. And there's no disrespect to Jordan Addison, but Ja'Marr, also his second wide receiver on the other side of the field, T. Higgins, is significantly better, in my opinion, than Addison, which just allows him to play more free. And I don't think this is a hot take at all. You guys might laugh at this. I hope this gets screenshotted and posted all over social media because I stand by this. I think Justin Jefferson is the most underrated player in football. I don't think people are realizing what this guy is doing on a week-in, week-out basis where he is getting all the attention. He is getting all the coverage. He is getting all the double, triple teams, whatever buzzword you want to use. He is getting those looks. And this man in his career is off to one of the best starts in NFL history. He already has the most receiving yards through the first 5 seasons of any career in the National Football League. And he missed half of the season last year, and he still has half of the season left this year. He could have done this in 4 years if he stayed healthy. But you guys see the yards per game at the bottom of your screen. 97.3, most in NFL history. And I'm going to call my shot right now. The Windy City, Chicago, you better watch out. I think a madman's coming to your building this weekend, and I think he's going to dominate Soldier Field. I'm calling it. Jefferson is going to go for 150-plus yards and 2 touchdowns this weekend because I guarantee you, he's going to see this report. He's going to see that, most NFL executives, most NFL scouts think that Ja'Marr Chase strikes more fear in the defenses compared to this guy right here, Justin Jefferson. I also think the buzz that Jalen Johnson, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, I guarantee you Jefferson's going to take that personally. And with all-time great talents, Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, I think Jefferson is on that caliber of elite athlete. They all use everything they can as motivation. So that's my shot I'm calling this weekend. 150 and 2 touchdowns for Jefferson. But I'll ask you guys, probably the stupidest question I've ever asked you guys. This has an easy answer. Pick a wide receiver for me. Give me an 18 or give me a number 1. I better see 1,000 18s commented on this video. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Now coming up next, I just want to take a trip down memory lane, even though he's only played for 4.5 seasons with our Minnesota Vikings. I just want to go over my favorite memories. So I'll tell you guys about that here in a second. But first, I got to tell you guys about a new sponsor we have here, and that is Factor Meals. If you guys head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 and use code VikingsChat50, you guys will get 50% off your first box at Factor and 20% off your next month. That's code VikingsChat50 at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50. So Factor, why I love them so much is, days are shorter right now, but your to-do list aren't. Power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals from breakfast to dinner and anything in between. Factor has easy options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like your routine or enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenient options you can add to your box like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. So don't let the shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. And my favorite part about Factor, it just lets you do you. You can choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. So head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50. Use code VikingsChat50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code VikingsChat50 at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month where your subscription is active. That link for you guys is in the comments and description of today's show. All right, so my first favorite memory around number 18 has to be his first touchdown, really his first action in his NFL career. That 75-yarder he had against the Tennessee Titans. And I thought it was so funny looking back on this. He was running just a deep over route, and we know he's the best deep over route runner in the entire league. And he broke a tackle, made two Titans guys fall into each other, and then he literally starts hitting the gritty at about the 5-yard line. Just really, you couldn't have asked for a better kind of play and a better moment to start your NFL career than what he did against the Tennessee Titans a couple years ago. And, also this, I thought Jefferson's best game as a Minnesota Viking it was week 16 last season in their first game against the Lions when it was Nick Mullins in at quarterback, and this was on the 4th and 20, when Jefferson skied up over two Lions, absolutely mossed Kirby Joseph. I'm going to keep it nice I'm not even going to call him a name here. I'm just going to call him Kirby Joseph. But you guys know how I feel about number 31 on the Lions. But Jefferson skied up, made a big-time play, and overall, he has dominated the Lions throughout his career, man. I mean, these stats are ridiculous. Think about this. This is a divisional opponent who you're seeing twice a year. And twice a year, Lions fans probably fall asleep Saturday night with nightmares of this guy. 7.7 receptions a game, 128 yards per game, and 16.7 yards per catch. Truly has been one of the most dominant receivers against a specific team that we have ever seen. But the one thing I want, and I don't even consider it a want, I consider it a need. I need a Jefferson dominant playoff game, because the one kind of thing that Jamar has over Jefferson is he has done it in the playoffs. Like, he has gone, made big plays in Kansas City. We just haven't really seen that with Jefferson yet, mainly just because he hasn't had the opportunity to do so. And his lone opportunity in the playoffs, it didn't go well. Yes, the Giants, they were putting 3-4 guys on him every single play. But in just 9 targets, he only had 7 receptions, 6.7 yards per catch, 47 yards. So I want a dominant game for number 18 this year in the playoffs. I think we're going to get it. I just hope it comes in the wild card round or hopefully in the divisional if the Vikings do have a bye. And, I want to get this message out there, the Vikings fans. Just enjoy the ride. Like, enjoy every snap. Enjoy every route. Enjoy every gritty we see in the end zone, because truly we are watching a generational player every single Sunday out there for the Minnesota Vikings. Like, this doesn't come around once every decade, once every 20, 30 years. He is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. So every time he's out there, whether he's split out wide or he's in the slot, just look at number 18 and just take a breath and just enjoy what you're watching every single game. But if you guys made it to the end of today's video, I think Justin Jefferson is a lock to be a Hall of Famer. But I'll make this the real one roll call. If you guys think Jefferson is a Hall of Famer, give me an HOF down below in the comments section. I want to see it flooded with the HOFs on today's show. But hey, if also you guys want more Jefferson discourse on your Twitter or X timeline, give me a follow over there at Pat Sieps. See you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. As always, SKOL Vikes. Alrighty, let's show Justin Jefferson some love. Type those 18s. I love seeing the HOFs fly in the comments section. As the Alchemist saying, "Go Pat, go." Alchemist, did the Vikings and Packers play yet this season? I'm just curious. I'm not really too tapped in with this football team. I think they played this year. I don't know. Could you guys let me know if the Vikings and Packers played yet this season? Maybe I'm wrong. I have no idea. I'm just asking a question. Not sure, Junk? You're not sure, man? If you guys do remember if the Vikings and Packers played, do you guys remember what happened? The Alchemist. He's getting fired up right now. I feel the insecurities coming from Packers fans. Oh, we beat the Packers. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, Junk, I don't know. It does not ring a bell. Oh, I forgot about that winding pie. We did beat the Packers. Oh, okay. I was just confused because we have Packers fans talking noise in the live chat right now. Maybe I'm tripping. I just thought maybe the Vikes and Pack didn't play yet. Alchemist, I'm just giving you a hard time, man. As he says, still love you guys. Vikings are great this year. It's all fun, man. I love just chopping it up with you guys. Have you guys seen the videos on Twitter and Instagram where it's like opposing teams, fans, going up to other teams being like, hey, you dropped that after a game. It's like, oh, you dropped an L. I think those are absolutely hilarious. Old Red, I got you. I got you, man. Yeah, but we are going to be getting into a mailbag in about 25, 30 minutes or so. So if you guys got a question for me, hashtag Vikings in the live chat. Or if you guys want to super chat, you guys will skip the line. Normally these mailbags get around 15,000 views. So if you guys want to have, your thoughts, your hot takes around your Minnesota Vikings up on screen, you'll have your name, your profile pic, hashtag Vikings, get it in there. There's Roger Bong sending a $5 super chat a little bit ago saying, what does it even mean? We only get dissed by all of media. JJ Jets 18 is on another level. I'm with you, Raj. Like, I'm going to call this the Sam Darnold blinders on why I feel like the Vikings get dissed by the media. I mean, they're the top 10 in scoring offense, top 5 in scoring defense, and people still don't take them seriously as a Super Bowl contender. And I think it's just, put on these blinders where it's like, oh, Sam Darnold's the Vikings quarterback. We just can't rank them highly. And I get that thought process a little bit, but you also go look on tape. I still think the Vikings, I think they're the 4th, 5th best team in the league if you just look at what they've done this season. They're brutal start to the year. They were able to manage that, go 5-0, and now you're able to start, really ripping off wins after what could have been a disaster. Let's just say they hypothetically lose to the Colts on that Sunday night game. It could have been, really a downhill trajectory for the rest of the season. So, Roger, I hear you. I honestly just don't get it. I just don't get it. But mailbag coming up. Hashtag Vikings. Get your questions in there. Whatever you guys want to ask, we will talk about it. Z Cool, send another $5 super chat. Shout out to you, Z. Z, we're shipping out that football today. It may take a little bit, just around the holidays. It just takes us a while to ship stuff out. But I'm hoping that gets to you next week. Z Cool won our raffle on last week's show, getting a salute to service football. So hopefully that gets to you soon. But Z Cool, what do you got to say? Saying JJ works best when disrespected. What's your bold prediction for offense and defense this game? Great question, Z Cool. We'll answer that on the mailbag. Quickly here, bold prediction offensively. I'm going to go Jefferson goes for 150 and 2. Defensively, I'm going to go the Vikings do not allow the Bears to score an offensive touchdown. I'll go kind of bold on these. Obviously, anything can happen on any given Sunday in the NFL, especially with road divisional games. But I'm feeling really confident about this matchup versus the Bears. I think it's going to be tough for Caleb Williams to really get momentum in this game. I just think Flores is going to keep him on his heels instead of his toes throughout the whole matchup. So I'm feeling good about a win this weekend. Felt good the last 3 weeks, even though the Vikings haven't really played their best game. O'Connell talked about that today, saying I'm still waiting for us to put together a full 4 quarters and a full, all 3 phases performance. So hopefully that comes to Soldier Field this weekend. But Z Cool, we'll talk about this more here during our mailbag. But, hashtag Vikings or Super Chat. If you guys want to join Z Cool in on the mailbag, would really appreciate it if you guys could. Hashtag Vikings or Super Chat to get your thoughts on the show. But coming up, we're going to talk about what Colin Cowherd, our good old friend at Fox Sports, had to say about the Minnesota Vikings, as I still feel like they're getting disrespected. So we'll talk about it on today's show. Tyler saying 31-17, Vikings win. I would love that. I just don't think the Bears are getting the 17. Oh, it's prospects, yeah. All right, we're going to dive into it. What Cowherd had to say around the Minnesota Vikings. Let's talk about it. Our good old friend at Fox Sports, Colin Cowherd, weighed in on the Vikings' 8-2 start to the season. So come up on today's show. What did this man right here, Colin Cowherd, had to say around our favorite football team in Minnesota? My name is Patrick Siepman. Welcome in, everybody, to Vikings Now. But I'll start off today's show with this. With the NFC North still in play for the Minnesota Vikings to win this division, if you guys want the Vikings to win the NFC North, just hit that thumbs up icon. Drop a like on today's show. I put the goal as 500 likes. I expect you guys to blow that out of the park. So please help us out here. Hit that thumbs up button if you guys want the Vikes to win the NFC North and potentially get the number 1 seed in the NFC. So Cowherd, bit of a shocker here. He finally put the Minnesota Vikings in his top 10. Big shocker, though. He had the Dolphins at 10. The 4-6 Dolphins, Cowherd. Got him in at 10 on his herd hierarchy. Then he's got the Cardinals, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills, and Lions. But my reaction to this, when I was watching this show get kind of unveiled here is he had the Dolphins at 10, and I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm like, I swear, if Cowherd does not put the Vikings in his top 10, I am going to lose my mind. My one gripe, though, with Cowherd, having the Cardinals, having the Chargers, having the Steelers all ahead of the Vikings, I just don't get it. I understand Steelers got a good win against the Ravens this weekend, but still, if you look at what both teams have done throughout the full 10, 11 game sample size, or 11, 12 game sample size, I still feel like the Vikings have put on better tape compared to the Steelers and especially the Cardinals. I cannot wait till the Vikings square off with the Cardinals the weekend of Thanksgiving when they absolutely dismantle that football team and we can knock them off the herd hierarchy. But this is what Cowherd had to say around the Vikings being at number 9 on his power ranking, saying Vikings, only losses this year come the Lions and the Rams. Top 10 scoring offense, top 5 scoring defense. I think Brian Flores deserves another head coaching job. Their defense is not the best in the league, okay? They lead the NFL in takeaways. This part confused me, though. They're fooling people. They're fooling quarterbacks. This is a dangerous team. I think Sam Darnold's reckless nature will eventually hurt them in January. But right now, they're number 9. And when I heard this quote from Cowherd, like the part about him adding that the Vikings aren't the best defense in the league, I just completely disagree. I think they are the best defense in the league. And I don't know why people can't just give this defense love. And I think it's kind of, I talk about the Sam Darnold blinders, why nobody will ever take this Vikings offense seriously. I'm going to call this the blue chipper blinders, where people don't view the Vikings defense as truly, truly elite because they don't have a blue chipper. But I also disagree with that. I think Grenard, Cashman, and Van Ginkel are just that. And, if you just look at the raw numbers here, like very basic, just yards, pass yards, rush yards, points per game, and third down percentage, the Vikings rank very highly in each of these. And I think it's really a true tell of a good defense. If number 1, they can take away the run. Vikings are number 1 in the National Football League in that. 74.4 yards per game. That ranks first. Third down percentage, they're fantastic. Points per game. I mean, that's just the end-all, be-all in evaluating good defense. Well, they're 4th. And the best part is they can get to the frickin' quarterback. Shout out to producer Tex for cooking this up. This is hot. But Jonathan Grenard, Andrew Van Ginkel, Patrick Jones II, they are all top 12 in sacks this season in the NFL. Think about that. The Vikings have a trio of pass rushers, all top 12 in the National Football League in sack total numbers this year. Also TFLs. Funny enough, Andrew Van Ginkel, he is leading the league in 13 TFLs a game, and Patrick Jones and Jonathan Grenard are right behind him at 9 apiece. And this is not a hot take at all. I'm not trying to get clipped here or, go viral, whatever you want to say. The Vikings have the best defense in the NFL. I will stand by that. I think they got the best defensive play caller. All respect to Spags over there in Kansas City, but I would rather take, Brian Flores in that. And I think they have the best defense. I think they got a lot more talent than even guys like I thought heading into the season. Because I like Cashman, I like Van Ginkel, I like Grenard, but they have overexceeded my expectations. Talking about it offensively, though. Shift to this. So Cowherd had this last part, saying, I think Sam Darnold's reckless nature will eventually hurt them in January. You know what this team reminds me of? If you guys remember, I forget what year it was. The first year where the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. They had an Eli Manning. Nobody really trusted him. He had turnover issues that year, but they had an elite defense. And then all Eli had to do was just play good football for a month. Giants won a Super Bowl. What about the Ravens with Flacco? An unbelievable defense. They can get to the quarterback. They can take away the run. What did Flacco have to do? Just get hot for 6 weeks. And I want Vikings fans to understand this. If this guy right here, Sam Darnold, if he just plays top 10 quarterback play in the league for a month stretch in the playoffs, you will be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Really let that sink in. You will be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy if Sam Darnold just plays good football for a month. Doesn't turn the ball over. Doesn't have these reckless takeaways. Like, if he just does that, the Vikings are seriously going to be a problem in the playoffs. And listen, I agree that, Darnold's reckless nature definitely does concern me a little bit because, his style of play can lose you a playoff game like that. But stop moving the goalpost. Like, the Vikings were just able to crack the top 10 of his power rankings, and then finally he has some backhanded compliment for Darnold. Like, Cowherd, this was supposed to be your guy. You're a big Darnold guy. I don't know why now you're kind of flipping the page and moving the goalposts for him. This man is 5th in touchdowns in the league. He is good enough to go on a Super Bowl run. And I guarantee you, let's just say J.J. McCarthy was starting for the Minnesota Vikings this season. I promise you the Vikings would be top 5 in every power rankings you see. But everyone has Sam Darnold blinders on. You know, we can move it. Darnold, like, I just think people look at the Vikings offense, they're like, man, we can't take them seriously in the playoffs. There's no chance. Like, the whole confetti test. Can you really see Sam Darnold hoisting that Lombardi trophy? I can. I can see it happening because of what the Vikings are doing defensively. That's your identity. I understand. I was just showing all types of love to Justin Jefferson on a recent video. But the identity of this defense or of this team is the defense. But again, people are not going to take them seriously until our quarterback, Sam Darnold, goes and does it in a postseason. So let's show him our love. Let's show him our support. Type those 14s down below in the comment section. Give Sam Darnold his flowers, as truly he is just the most disrespected guy in the league. So type those 14s down below. And coming up next, talk about the Vikings not having any blue chippers. I was wrong. I'm an idiot. I think they have one. And I think it's that guy right there, Andrew Van Ginkel. Why he should be the depoy, that's coming up here in a second. But first, got to give a massive shout out to today's presenting sponsor, and that's PrizePicks. If you guys download the PrizePicks app and sign up today, you guys will get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Make sure you plug in promo code CLNS. And the best part is, you don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. So what is PrizePicks? PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. If you guys want to add any more juice to a Timberwolves, Minnesota Wild, Minnesota Vikings game, PrizePicks is the #1 way to do so. I create a lineup for almost every game I'm watching, and it makes my viewing experience that much better. So download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today. Use code CLNS. Get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. But massive shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's show. PrizePicks, run your game. All right, why should Van Ginkel be the depoy? Well, let's show him some love and dive into the stats here because he's having an unbelievable season. And the fact I am showing these stats is ridiculous. The man is 5th in sacks in the entire league. He is 1st in TFLs. If you just stop right here, cut off the bottom 3, and you put Myles Garrett or TJ Watt up here, he would be the overwhelming favorite. And that drives me crazy with media members who vote on these awards. They almost view it as too much of a rich tapestry, where you take past years and they impact this year. There has not been a defensive player in the National Football League who has been more impactful than Andrew Van Ginkel. The man is 1st in touchdowns defensively this year. He's got 36 tackles. He is truly one of the most versatile football players I have ever seen in my life. And more chat stats for you guys. Van Ginkel this past weekend became the 3rd player ever in the whole history of the National Football League to have 2 touchdowns and 8 sacks in a season. And so I was curious. I was like, you know what? Where does Van Ginkel rank in the Defensive Player of the Year odds? This is coming in from DraftKings. Well, let's see. Van Ginkel is just not on this list. TJ Watt is the overwhelming favorite to win the depoy. He is a phenomenal player. He is a blue chipper. He is one of the best non-quarterbacks in the National Football League. I am not trying to take away anything from these 5 guys right here. But Dexter Lawrence, Chris Jones, Will Anderson, freaking Trey Hendrickson on a 4-7 football team, you're going to put him above Andrew Van Ginkel? It's a joke. Like, this is a joke that he is not getting more love. I just don't understand it. Like, what else does he need to do? What if he ends this season leading the league in TFLs with 25? And what if he has got 13, 14 sacks? He's still got maybe 3 touchdowns at that point on the season. If that's not enough to get him in the depoy conversation, I don't know. I'm going to call it just Minnesota blinders because people just aren't picking up what's going down there in the Twin Cities. But also I got to tip my cap, show some love to Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Andrew Van Ginkel, you signed him for a 2-year, $20 million deal. That was the best move of the whole offseason. I understand Aaron Jones, Sam Darnold, those are great contracts as well. But defensively, no dude has made a bigger impact than Andrew Van Ginkel. Then Grenard, I think is a blue chipper. He's third in the league in pressures. He's been awesome. 4-year, $76 million deal. Blake Cashman, the Vikings are undefeated when Cashman's in the lineup. You got him for a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. All of these moves that Kwesi made this offseason, they will all look like steals next year when we're talking about it here on the channel. And Chef Kwesi, you were cooking this offseason. I will give you your credit. I liked all the moves. I loved all the moves. But I underrated them. I did not see this coming. So Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, you are a hell of a GM. All Vikings fans should be on board with you and Kevin O'Connell getting extensions right when the season ends. I don't care what happens for the rest of the year. They could lose the rest of their games. I'm still giving these two guys, these two awesome gentlemen in the Vikings organization, 3-4-year contract extensions. But let's show our GM some love. We show Justin Jefferson. We show Sam Darnold. We show Kevin O'Connell all types of love. But let's show Kwesi Adofo-Mensah some love because this guy, it all starts up there, everybody. I know we see it on the field every Sunday, but it starts at the top. It starts with the general manager. Give me a SKOL Kwesi down below in the comments section. If you guys want more Vikings content, hit me up on Twitter. At Pat Sieps is the Twitter handle. We'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes. Alrighty. What's going on, everybody? Vikings fans. M. Mac in the house saying SKOL Kwesi. He's awesome, man. Like, he's a great GM. He has truly set this team up to be successful for the next 5 seasons. And we just need to tip our caps. So I want to show him some love on that show. Shout out to COD. Production, M. Mac, Bryson Rocket, Scott Shears. I agree with you. I am scared that we won't have Flores next season. No doubt. No doubt. But, hey, mailbag coming up. If you guys got a question for me, you got a hot take, you got whatever you want to say around the Minnesota Vikings, get those questions up on screen. Hashtag Vikings or Super Chat. Let me know your thoughts down below. Yeah, send in a super chat. You'll skip the line. You'll get right up on there, right next to me, your profile picture, your name. It will be seen by thousands and thousands of Vikings fans. Or just add in a question right now in the live chat. Hashtag Vikings. We'll throw you up on screen. S. Christian, our resident Steelers fan, chiming in. Shout out to you. Just the second one. Just Z cool. Yeah. Cashman is our X factor. 100%. Undefeated with the Cashman in the lineup. What can we do to increase the amount of draft picks for 25, Jazz? You trade out of the first round. Some team will want to – you know what I think the Vikings are going to do? They're going to do what the Texans did last season. You know, when the Vikings traded up with the Texans to get that other first-round pick to give them more draft capital to move up in a loaded draft this year. I could see the Vikings, if they're picking at 27, 28, they trade out of the first. They get a second. They get a third-round pick just to get more draft capital. That's what I think. Christian, TJ Watt is a future Hall of Famer. I agree. Like, I did not want to have that come off as like, oh, I think TJ Watt's a bum and he's not impacting the game. He's a hell of an edge rusher. I just think Van Ginkel should get a lot more love. What up, man? How you doing? Yeah, but we're going to get into a mailbag here. Hashtag Vikings, super chat, get on the show. Patrick Monson, good question. Appreciate you. We'll add that in the mailbag. Yeah, but shout out to all you guys. One last call. Hashtag Vikings, super chat, get on today's show. But are you guys ready for a little Aaron Rodgers conversation? We're getting reckless. We're getting weird on today's show. So we're going to have some fun. Talk about Aaron Rodgers. Could he be heading to the Minnesota Vikings? And then also talk about whatever you guys want to talk about as a part of our mailbag as unmodded in the chat. Yeah, factor, yeah. No Rodgers? You guys going no on Raj? All righty. We'll talk about it, though. We'll talk about it. All right. If you guys are ready to rock, let's dive into it. Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings. I can't believe I'm talking about this. I can't believe I'm talking about this, but we're here, Tex. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. But let's dive into it. Aaron Rodgers, could he complete the circle of quarterbacks from the past. I'll tell you what, quickly before I dive into what I'll say in the show, if Aaron Rodgers does go to the Minnesota Vikings, I will promise you Jordan Love will be a Viking at some point. I promise. Like, I just can't believe it. Just can't believe it. All righty, let's talk about it. What's going on, Vikings fans? Welcome in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman, and we got a completely off-the-chain show for you guys today. As a lot of reports have came out that Aaron Rodgers could be leaving the New York Jets, and could he be heading to the Minnesota Vikings? Wild show for you guys. But we'll also dive into a mailbag on the second half of today's show. But if you guys want to become a more informed Vikings fan, hit that subscribe button. I'm posting around 10 to 11 videos a week. So if you guys want to stay up to date around everything around your Minnesota Vikings, I got you covered here at Vikings Now by Chat Sports. So help us out. Hit that subscribe button right down below and help us reach 43,000 subscribers. That'd be awesome if we could hit that milestone before the Bears game this Sunday. So let's backtrack here. Why are we even talking about this? Because I guarantee you there's a lot of commenters saying, oh, Patrick Siepman is talking about some nonsense yet again. But let's set the scene. So Rich, a beat reporter for the New York Jets, tweeted this out, saying, with a totally new regime in 2025, it likely means Aaron Rodgers won't be back with the Jets. A new GM, a new head coach, will probably want their own QB. Rodgers has a good relationship with Joe Douglas, former GM of the Jets who just got fired. And last week, he advocated for Jeff Ulbrich, and it's hard to imagine him wanting to even be back. So then our own guy, Kevin Seifert of ESPN, give him a follow on Twitter. He's fantastic at what he does. But he quote tweeted that and said this: the Vikings have one QB under contract for 2025, and he has never played a down of regular season NFL football. And then Kevin had to go and say, it's happening. Obviously, he was kind of joking around that, hence the winky emoji right there. But Aaron Rodgers to the Vikes, let's break it down. So Rodgers this year definitely is taking a step back. One of his worst years as a pro in the NFL, as he is, closing in on his 40th year being alive, and completion percentage 63.4, yards 2,400, touchdown 17. Pick 7, QB rating 88.9, and Rodgers, he is just a sitting duck back there. He's got no more mobility. He still has a live arm. I mean, he still had a couple throws against the Vikings in London where I'm like, man, Aaron Rodgers still has it. But my take when I heard all this kind of reckless talk, reckless speculation, whatever you want to call it, the only way I consider this, the only way, is if J.J. McCarthy has another setback. Like, let's just say JJ is going through the rehab process. We get a notification like, oh, snap, JJ, he's going to miss the first 2 months of the season. Then maybe I would consider Rodgers because he is still a good quarterback. He's just nowhere near the man he once was. So only way I consider it is if JJ McCarthy has another step back. But how funny would this be? Like, come on. Like, you got to admit just a little bit, you Vikings fans. Just want to bring Rodgers in just to stick at the Packers fans. Like, that's honestly the biggest reason why I would be okay with this, is just because when we play the Packers twice next season, how great would it be if the Packers have to have another quarterback to, or another former Packers quarterback, give them the business. I mean, I still remember that Favre Rodgers game. I was only like 9 years old at the time, but I still remember watching that, just like loving every moment of it. So it would be cool to stick at the Packers fans, but I just don't know. I just don't know. Like, really, I don't have a good answer. I'm still probably going to say I'm passing on Rodgers, but again, like, it would be pretty fun. It would be pretty fun, but I don't have a good answer for you guys. Let your thoughts be known. Put on your GM hats for me. If you're crazy, let's just say you get that notification, you get that report, oh, snap, JJ is missing the first couple months of the season. I cannot believe I'm asking this. Do you want the Vikings to sign Aaron Rodgers next year? Just give me an S for sign or give me a P for pass. I am so curious to see what you guys are going to say. So coming up next, mailbag time, my favorite part of my week here at Chat Sports. But before we do so, got to tell you guys about a new sponsor we have and a great sponsor, and that's Factor Meals. Now, if you guys head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 and use code VikingsChat50, you guys will get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Now, if you guys notice, the days are shorter. Shout out to daylight savings time, but your to-do list is not. So power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals from breakfast to dinner and anything in between. Factor has easy options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like your routine or enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. So don't let the shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat delivery service. So massive, massive shout out to Factor. I live a very busy lifestyle here, just covering the Minnesota Vikings, and sometimes I'm not in the best mood or don't have the energy to cook a full home-cooked meal, and Factor has gave me a great alternative option, and I really enjoy all their meals, like their sweet potato and chickpea curry is fantastic. They have a bunch of different ones, like their teriyaki chicken, their Louisiana shrimp. You guys got to check them out. So head to factormeals.com/VikingsChat50. Use code VikingsChat50. Get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code VikingsChat50 at factormeals.com/VikingsChat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. Z Cool, what up, brother? Saying JJ works best when disrespected. What's your bold prediction for offense and defense this game? If you guys didn't see it, an NFL Insider put out a report that apparently a lot of NFL defenses would rather face Justin Jefferson than Jamar Chase. I just think it's ludicrous. But what's your bold prediction for offense and defense? Offensively, Justin Jefferson goes for 150 and 2. He kind of has his iconic game so far this season, so that's my prediction for offense. Defensively, Vikings, they don't shut out the Bears, but they keep them out of the end zone for the entire game. I think this is a terrible matchup for Caleb Williams. I think Brian Flores, his style of defense, it just causes these QBs to process at a very quick and effective rate. And Caleb, I really think he struggles at that part of the game. So I don't think the Bears find the end zone unless it's like a deep shot to, Rome or DJ Moore. So those would be my two bold predictions there. EV, what up, Eve? Saying, should Minnesota hire Josh McDaniels, OC, and Teddy Bridgewater as DC? I'm going to say no to both of these. Teddy Bridgewater as defensive coordinator, that is interesting. So I'm going to say no on that and really big time no on Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator. I actually wonder, I don't know this, I'm pretty sure McDaniels and Kevin O'Connell overlapped when O'Connell was a QB in New England. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's the case. But no for Josh McDaniels, and I love Teddy. Shout out to Teddy Bridgewater, one of my favorite quarterbacks ever to wear the purple and gold. But as defensive coordinator, I'm going to say no. One thing Vikings fans we can pray for every night is that Brian Flores is back as DC in Minnesota. Joey Tana saying, who will the Vikings pick up in free agency? Love this question. My #1 free agent kind of target for the Minnesota Vikings is DJ Reed. He's a fantastic cornerback for the New York Jets. I think he's better than Sauce Gardner. I just think since Sauce has a cooler name and he was a back-to-back All-Pro, people just view him as just a better cornerback. I just don't think that's the case. DJ Reed, no doubt, is my top free agent target for the Minnesota Vikings. Joey, shout out to you. But Patrick, beautiful name you have, saying, what do you think is the Vikes' biggest or weakest positional link? I'm going to probably still go interior offensive line. I think that's the easy answer there. Bradbury's just been okay. Ingram, he got benched last week against the Titans, so Reisner, he's all right. Brandell's all right. But, I would love for the Vikings to toss big money to the Chiefs' offensive guard. I think his name's Trey Smith. I would love for them to, target him in free agency. But a bold prediction for this offseason, the Vikings will toss big money with all their cap space that they have at a corner and an interior offensive lineman. I really, really do believe that. But Patrick Monson, shout out to you for tuning in. $5 super chat coming in from my man Roger Bong saying, do you think we are better this year over what we can be next year? Believe. I don't. I think this year for the Minnesota Vikings is the base. This is going to be the standard. This is the first year kind of this post-Kirk Cousins, Danielle Hunter era for the Minnesota Vikings. So I'm going to say, like, right here, what you're watching for this team this year is the base. I think it's only going to get better over the next 3 seasons. And I think Kwesi had in his mind when he took JJ, he had a little San Francisco 49ers-esque plan where he's like, I'm going to get a QB on a rookie deal. I'm going to get a loaded roster around him, and then our Super Bowl window is years 2 through 5 while JJ is still on his rookie contract. So, Roger, awesome question. Massive shout-out to you. And then my good old friend, Harvey Buxton. Oh, Tex. I'm locked in today. What do you think of eating beaver? Harvey Buxton, I got my eyes peeled wide open today. You're not going to get me. I think you got producer Tex on that one for him to throw that up on the show. That's no worries. Harvey, I'm going to say no. I don't think eating beaver should be a replacement for Brian Flores, but this man Harvey Buxton, he's always lurking. So Harvey, shout out to you, man. But A.M. Rassman, I can't even focus now because I got Harvey on my mind, not Tex. That's all good. I love that. We are definitely keeping that in. That is great TV right there. What do you think the Vikings have to do to win against the Bears? Get to 20 points. I think if the Vikings get to 20 offensively, we should be celebrating a fourth straight victory Monday here on the channel. I think defensively the Vikings will have their way. I am a little nervous. Sam Darnold going into Chicago, tough place to play. We saw Kirk Cousins really struggle there when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. We have never been able to run the ball in Chicago. Like, I remember Dalvin Cook, different defense for the Bears. That's when they had Akeem Hicks, Roquan Smith, Khalil Mack. They were unbelievable. But I remember Dalvin Cook would be heading into those games, averaging 100-plus yards. Then he would face the Bears, and it would just be, nothing. He would just get shut out that game. So I'm going to just say, what do the Vikings have to do to win against the Bears? Score 20 points. Zach Game in 23 saying, should we re-sign Aaron Jones when his contract expires? Great question, Zach. I'm going to say no. I want the Vikings to draft a running back. I actually saw a mock draft put out there today. Gentry, the Boise State running back superstar at that position. They had him going to the Vikings at pick 27. This is a very, very good running back class. I would honestly be okay with the Vikings taking one in the first round. If you guys remember when the Lions took Jahmyr Gibbs a couple years ago at pick 12, everybody was freaking out. Like, how do you take the second running back off the board at pick 12? Because Bijan went, in the top 10. And now we see how effective, Gibbs has been for the Lions. So I would honestly, Aaron Jones, we've seen the decline already, starting. He has a lengthy injury history. He's got a lot of touches, a lot of tread on those tires. So I'm going to say no to re-signing Aaron Jones. Go sign another running back. Like, I think we saw this past season, like, with Saquon going to Philly, Derrick Henry going to Baltimore. Like, you can just go pick up a free agent running back. Even if they're at the tail half of their career, they can still be very, very effective. And also, running backs are going to want to come and play for the Vikings. Like, you got Justin Jefferson on the outside. It's just going to be lighter boxes. So I'm going to say no on Aaron Jones. Last question coming in from EV saying, should the Minnesota Vikings pay Andrew Van Ginkel like what Nick Bosa got paid for the Niners? I'm going to say hell no on that one. Love Van Ginkel. I was just making a case he should be the decoy this season, but giving him the Nick Bosa contract, I'm going to say no on that. Like, Bosa's obviously a way better player than Van Ginkel. In terms of his impact on the game, he's still one of the best edge rushers in the National Football League. So no, I think that's my easy answer for that one. They should pay Andrew Van Ginkel, though. If you could somehow extend him, lower his cap hit for next season, you backload that contract, I'd be all in on it. But paying him Nick Bosa money, not okay with that. But if you guys made it to the end of today's mailbag and our little Aaron Rodgers segment, give me a SKOL down below in the comment section. Wild show today, I know, but just wanted to chop it up with you guys and talk about the possibility of Rodgers heading to the Minnesota Vikings. Also, I'm on Twitter. @Pat Sieps is the handle. Give me a follow over there. Thank you guys so much for watching today's show, and we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes. Alrighty, all the real ones in the building. Still got over 180 people with us today. Shout out to y'all, man. There's Unmodded Jeff saying it's Bears season this Sunday. SKOL Junk Buster saying let's go beat the Bears. Yes, sir. Harvey Buxton, I'm this close of kicking you or banning you on the channel. You got my man Tex today. I'm gonna Text, if you see a super chat or a question come in from Harvey Buxton, blinders on, man. Gosh, I love that. That was a great part of the mailbag, though, Harvey. God, that. Come on, Harvey. Come on, man. I saw the name and I'm like, no, I'm not even saying this. Yeah, but I really want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. We go live every Wednesday at around 3:30. So if you guys want to tune in every week, I really do appreciate it. We'll be live, though, an hour before kickoff this Sunday. It's going to be a great time. So if you guys want to tune in, just look up Vikings Now by Chat Sports. Join us for our watch parties as super excited, man. Super excited. We're playing the Bears. Divisional games are back. No more AFC South boring games. Every game for the rest of the year has extreme meaning around it. So we'll see you guys next time. As always, SKOL Vikes, baby.